not going to get a second chance in the game.
We're going to talk about why we want to be versatile, why we want to be multiple. Really, it's out of necessity. High school offenses are incredibly diverse, as you all know. We can get 10 personnel, trips empty 1 week. Next week, you could be facing double wing, wing T, veer, single wing, anything like that. So we felt that when we built our defense, we had to do it in a way that was diverse and we could be able to go week to week without having to make some grand scale changes, while still allowing us to play fast, physical, aggressive, all that kind of stuff that we want to do. Even within 1 week, you can get a team, whether it's a short yardage package or something else they do, could line up in some heavy personnel if they're spread or vice versa. So this kind of gives us some answers to all that kind of stuff. Another reason that we wanted to be multiple like this is that we didn't really have any kind of prototypical size players. We didn't have a 300-pound nose or, that really strong end 275 guy that can just make life hard on the offense. So we've had to do some things to fit really our personnel and play to our strengths. Again, we've had several really great kids who could do multiple things. So being able to be versatile like this allows us to use the fullness of their strengths and really allow those kids to flourish within our scheme. And again, on a week-to-week basis, offenses can be very different, or even series by series. This past year, we played a team that was primarily a spread team. Their quarterback unfortunately got injured the first series of the game. They ended up in flexbone for a lot of the game. So this situation allows us to be versatile, to be multiple, and kind of ebb and flow with the changes in the game. So I'll just introduce you now to some of our base fronts, some of our base coverages. You'll see here, and we'll get to the diagrams here in a second. It's kind of based out of a tag system, so everything pairs off of our base front. So we've got base, deuce, bump, stack, and down, and these are all things that will pair together. Coverage-wise, we base out of a 2-read, which for us, when it's 2x2, we call cloud. Then we have trips and empty checks of stub and limb. Stub will be man on the number 1 wide receiver with our corner. And then our nickel player, who we call the fox, and our safety will then 2-read the number 3 to the number 2 receiver. Then we have another variation of that we call limb, where it's the same idea, just kind of flipped. The nickel or the fox will play man on number 3. Then the corner and the safety will stay in their normal 2-read progression from the number 2 to the number 1 receiver. We also will work into some man coverages. We'll call single. Single is cover 1 for us because there's 1 single high safety. You have a single safety help. We can tag a rat call, which means one of our linebackers or potentially a defensive lineman can drop into the low hole for us. Solo then is our cover 0. Like everybody, we like this down in the red area. And again, we'll tag the rat language with that as well if we do want one of our inside linebackers to be able to help on slants, drags, things underneath, so we're not getting picked off in the red area while we're in man coverage. So with this, primarily we're head-up alignments, and we'll talk about this here in a second. We want to be able to move. As I said, we've not had your typical, really large defensive lineman, so we feel that the best way to play to our strengths is to have those guys move. So we slant strong and weak. We'll also fan and we'll pinch. You see there are directional calls. The linebacker's responsibility, let them know if it's strong or weak. That way we don't have our D-line having to worry or count guys or anything like that. We'll give them a rip or Liz call, tell them to go right or left. When we do have a head-up nose, when we fan or pinch, we can tag him a direction as well. Whether it's strong or weak, our linebacker then will make a hammer or a nail call. Hammer goes right, nail goes left. With all these slants as well, we can tag an under so that our edge player, which you'll see here in a minute, our bull and our ram will be involved in the slant. Typically they're not if it's just a regular rip or Liz, but if we tag under, it's just a different way to give us a different look to send our edge players inside of the tackle or the tight end to allow some more variation. So our base blitzes then are single syllables if it's to my side, double syllable if it's away. So as you can see here, axe is our same side A, axle is opposite A. Bat would be my side B, bottle would be the opposite B. And then we've got a call as well to send them to the C gap or to the edge, we call crash. We'll also look at a couple clips where we make a loco call, which is both the Mike and the Sam, our inside backers, going into their open gaps. So this is our base alignment here. As you can see, our nose is a head up 0, kind of traditional 3-4, and we'll slant him to the call. If it's strong or weak, he'll go the direction the rip or liz that the inside linebackers tell him. Our end is in a 4-eye to the strong side. Again, he'll slant to the call, so if we make a fan, his job is to fan outside of that tackle. Then we'll play some games here with our bull, our edge guy, that allow us to send him in different ways. Our ram is a kind of traditional weak side 4-3 defensive end, hands on his tackle, redirecting. Again, he's a tackle read, so if that guy steps down, we want him to step down with it, close the space. If he steps out to reach, we want to fight the reach. Our bull is our strong side defensive end here. We want him in a 9 technique, or if there's no tight end, we'll call it a ghost 9. Helps those guys kind of envision the fact that, yeah, there's not a tight end here, but I can still see kind of where I want to line up. When it's empty sets or 10 personnel, double-double, stuff like that, we want to line our bull and our end up away from the back, just because we've seen that that's primarily where the ball is going to go. Our bull is traditionally our best run player on the line, so that's where we want him to be. We want our ram on the backside to be a really, really strong technical player, really good at forcing the quarterback to have difficult reads in the zone read game, stuff like that. But we also want that guy to be able to be counted on so that our linebackers behind it are always fast to their spots. So our fox is similar to a nickel, but he also will play in some like 4-3 will situations where he'll be stacked in the box as well. Typically he goes to the passing strength. So for trips, he's always to the trips. 2x2, as you see here, whether it's 10 personnel or 11, that'll be game plan dependent. So sometimes people will throw more to the field, some will throw to the back. If they've got the tight end and he's a really good receiver, some teams like to throw to that tight end a lot. We'll send the fox to wherever their passing strength is. Our Sam and our Mike, our inside linebackers here, we line them up at what we call 30 techniques, so 3 technique, but off the ball. We'll play them at 5 yards. They're also guard readers. So primarily in the run game, their read is the guard. Against a lot of zone teams, we'll kind of have them combo read from the guard to the backfield. We feel like this really helps us against, again, both zone schemes and gap schemes. We'll see some wing T clips here today where those guard reads really help us out a lot. Our corners then, we'll allow them on a year-to-year and a game-to-game basis, depending on who the guy is, to align anywhere from press alignment to about 5 yards deep in our 2 read. We'll talk about that exactly in a second. And then our safeties will be 10 yards deep and then 2 yards either inside or outside of the number 2 receiver. Our rules there is if the number 2 receiver is flexed, so if he's outside, like your traditional double-double set, he'll be 2 yards inside. But if number 2 is attached, kind of in a pro-gun situation, he'll be 2 yards outside that tight end. They are reading in-man on the line of scrimmage for run pass, and then they're getting their eyes to the number 2 receiver. So real quick, we'll talk about our cloud coverage, our 2 read. In this, both our safety and our corner will be primarily reading the number 2 receiver. So some years we'll make a cutoff, and some years we'll have these guys read them the whole way down the field. So in our cloud coverage, in our 2 read, we are reading the number 2 receiver here so that we can have a situation where we can trap the flat. So the corner and the safety will both be reading the number 2 receiver. If that receiver stems wide or stems out, the corner will jump that route. We'll make an up call from the safety. The corner will take number 2, and then it's the safety's responsibility to get over top of number 1. So whether it's a vertical, inside on a slant, that number 1 receiver will then become our safety's responsibility. If number 2 goes inside or vertical, the safety's primary responsibility is then him. If he's vertical, the safety will treat it like it's man coverage. If he goes underneath on a drag, he'll make an undercall and he'll zone off to his half or to his quarter. Again, we believe that this 2 read allows us to be really versatile and multiple. It does require a lot of reps on the install, just working these route exchanges and making sure that whoever the corner is and whoever the safety are communicate well together. We'll see some clips today where we do that really well, and then we'll see some clips as well where we do not do a very good job and we get lucky. The quarterback makes the throw that he does and doesn't throw it over our heads on a vertical. So underneath, the Sam and the Fox are relating to number 2. The Mike then is relating to number 3 in this scenario, that running back out of the backfield. So his drop will be related to the route of the 3rd receiver, the running back here. Okay, so this is our base front. Again, this is what we base all of the other tags off of. As I was going through clips here, we didn't actually have a ton of reps where we're just in base, but it does allow us, again, to create all of these other formations or defensive alignments off of it that we will run. So you'll see our base alignment here to trips. Again, we've got this end and a 4-eye out here, our bull and a 9 technique. The nose and the end, again, will slant to the call. Primarily, our slant here would be weak. Nose is then responsible for that weak side A gap. The end there is responsible for that strong side B. Now we slant read, so we are slanting to the near hip of the next down lineman. So if I'm the nose and I'm slanting to this A gap, I'm reading that inside hip of the guard so that I can fight pressure with pressure. If he reaches, I know to expand. If he pulls or something like that, I know I can redirect and find my proper work. So you'll see our 2 read out here as well. In our stub coverage, the corner becomes man on number 1. Our Fox and our safety then play our 2 read concept, reading the number 3 to the number 2 receiver. Same principles as before with the corner, where the Fox, if he gets a fast out from number 3, the Fox will have the number 3 receiver. The safety's job then is to get over the number 2. One thing we did to really help us against teams that like to run quick RPOs to the number 3 receiver, so slants, anything like that, hitches, we wanted to cover that immediate area from number 3 without putting our inside linebacker into immediate conflict of having to fit his gap and then get out to a hook potentially from number 3. We kind of flipped this stub idea. We put our Fox man on this number 3 receiver, and then we can still play that 2 read outside on numbers 1 and 2. And again, it allows us multiple answers while still playing our base concept of our cloud, our 2 read out there over the trips receivers. In this scenario, if this backside safety here, our free safety, doesn't have any vertical threat to his side and that back stays in, on a game plan basis, we can either have him shade to this number 1 side if that guy is a really good receiver and he poses us some threat, or we can kind of rotate him to the middle almost as a middle field safety to help on a 3rd vertical to the strong side or that trip side. So when we're in 10 personnel, the way we identify the strength, again, is away from the back. If we do get 11 personnel, our strength then is to the tight end. So we'll have our run strength away from the back in 10 personnel or to the tight end, and then our passing strength will be where our Fox goes. We're going to look at our Deuce front here now. Our Deuce is just a reduced version of our base. So this speaks to the strong side run players. Our end reduces from that 4-eye to a head up 2 on the guard. The bull will then line up on the in-man line of scrimmage. So if there is no tight end, he'll be in a 5 technique on the tackle. And if we do get an in-man or a tight end, he'll line up in a 9 technique on the tight end. We don't really like this against inline tight ends because we don't like the space of that head up 2 technique to the 9. We prefer to play our base to that. But this is really good for Y-off formations where he's in more of a sniffer alignment. And again, so that just affects those 2 guys. So those guys just reduce down. So it's only, a second thing for 2 guys to learn while the rest of our defense is unchanged. Again, the Fox still goes to the passing strength. From a week-to-week basis, again, depending on where they throw the ball, whether it's to the twin side here in this 11 personnel, or if they're a team that likes to run that Y out to the flat a lot, we can flip the Fox to that side as well. Again, we're still right now playing our cloud, our 2 read behind it, but we'll see on film that this is something, this 11 personnel we will transition to a little bit more cover 1 if we feel like we have the guys to do it. So again, this deuce front remains pretty much unchanged for everybody but the end and the bull. So you'll see it here against trips. That end has reduced down, the bull is reduced down, but the rest of the defense remains unchanged. We got to this sort of verbiage from my time on offense. As I said before, we were a double wing T, but we were pretty formationally versatile, where individual players had specific terms that talked just to them. So we took a little bit of that idea, kind of applied it to our defense to where we have a decent amount of verbiage, but it really only talks to 1 or 2 guys at a time. So again, here's our deuce versus trip sets. Next thing we're looking at is what we call bump. So our bump, our nose, and our end move to head up 2 alignments. We just bump the defensive lineman over a guy. And then again, everybody else's job remains the same. So the bull, again, will transition to in-man on the line of scrimmage. Our ram's still playing that 5 technique that he's been in. Everybody else behind him, their jobs remain the same. It allows us to prevent different fronts, different looks to the offense, but again, allowing our guys to play the same technique they've always played with slant reading and head-up alignments. So the reason we like these head-up alignments is because we believe it creates indecision among the offensive linemen in both the zone and the gap scheme game. It allows us to slow the offensive line down a little bit because they're unsure of where those guys are going to go, so that our second-level players, our Sam and our Mike, can be quicker to the ball. So if this backside tackle is trying to work to a cutoff at the second level for our inside backer, the Mike here, even if our nose were to slant away from him, his eyes, at least for a couple steps, have to be on our nose, and it slows him down and prevents him from getting immediately to the second level. So that's just one of the reasons that we like these head-up alignments and moving. Again, this isn't a front we like a ton. To an inline tight end, we primarily will play this against 10 personnel, but we still are able to do it. These slanted or these head-up alignments allow us to slant to your traditional over fronts or potentially your under front as well. And again, it just gives us the versatility we want in the run game to be able to present different looks and really get into different run fits based off of the same personnel and the same primary reads and techniques. So we'll see it here again versus trips. Again, it remains the same for the front players. On the back end, right, we're still playing the same thing we have been before to these trips rules. Next thing we're looking at is stack. The stack word for us brings our Fox, our nickel player, into the box. We play this primarily versus 11 personnel or potentially even 21 or 12 personnel as well. It allows us, again, to prevent a different look. These stacked alignments, we believe, create some difficult combo blocks for the offense of climbing to the second level against these 3 stacked backers. Primarily when we play stack, we will go to cover one. The Fox will primarily be man on the tight end. The safety will then come down to play man here on number 2. Then our opposite safety will be rolling to the middle of the field. This isn't something that will run against trips, just because we do want our Fox to be out there in pass coverage. We want to create a 4-over-3 situation in the passing game for trips. So if we do have a stack called, trips would bring us out of it. Last thing here before we get into some other stuff is our down front. So our down front will bring our Sam linebacker down onto the line of scrimmage. Sometimes, some years, that Sam is a little bit bigger of a guy and we'll play him in a 4-eye. We did that in 2020. Our inside linebacker was a really big, strong kid. So he kind of flourished in a 4-eye or even a 3-technique role. This past year in 2021, when we did our down front, the Sam was actually our edge player and the Ram would reduce. Again, it just gives us some versatility to get into a 5-man line from our base kind of 4-down personnel. So we'll walk that Sam down. Again, he'll be involved in the slant. So if we make a left, a Liz call, or even a pinch, that Sam is then slanting in to reading that near guard's hip. And he'll have some crossover time each week to read that, to work on those D-line reads. These things aren't things that will carry over every single week. There aren't weeks that we carry every single thing as primarily things that we'll play. But like I said, if an injury presents itself or something like that, we do have options. Usually, and our philosophy is that we're going to build a big toolbox. A lot of things we can do, and then from a week to week, we'll kind of pair it to a few things that we can work on primarily during the week that, again, allow us some versatility here on a Friday night. So we'll see down here versus trips. Again, that Sam walks down. We still keep our 6-man in the box. It just presents itself differently. And then we'll still have our stub and our limb coverages out here to the trips. So as I said, these primarily work as tags. So we will tag the words that move the D-line with words that will move the linebackers. And again, it just allows us more of that versatility where we can present different pictures for the offense. So some ones you'll see that we commonly do: base stack, deuce stack, bump stack, down stack, and then even against some wing T, we'll get into some down bump. So we'll look at what these look like. So this is base stack. Again, we like this versus 11 personnel when that Y is on, some pro twins, stuff like that. It allows us to get these 7 fitters, these 7 primary run players in the box. Again, with those stacked alignments, that makes it difficult sometimes for the offensive line to sort out where their double teams, where their combinations will go to. And again, we have the ability to play our cloud coverage still here, push into these hooks with the Sam and the Fox, but it also gets us in a situation where we can easily play cover 1 as well. Cover 1 is our primary man coverage if we're going to do that. And again, that's a week to week, what kind of guys they have situation, but also even a year to year, how good are we in man coverage? So this is base stack. Deuce stack is something we'll run a lot. We've got quite a bit of film on this one. We see that reduction from the end in the bull, bringing the end onto this head up 2 technique, our bull in this tight shaded 5, and then again stacking that Fox in the box. Our deuce front is something we like to blitz out of as well. The head up alignment of the nose and that 2-eye alignment for the end make a lot of man pass blocking schemes difficult to sort out the kind of movement that we can present the offensive line. We'll also get into bump stack as well. Again, this is something we like against Y off. So sniffer alignments from that tight end. We like, again, the head up 2s because we can slant and move, get into over and under fronts, as well as being able to cause double teams to free our linebackers up. And we will spill. So if we're getting power to this side of the bull with that tackle blocking down, we'll get a double team from the guard. If that tight end wants to try and kick him out, our bull's responsibility is to spill it. Primarily, we'll wrong arm, but in a given year, if we've got a guy that's really strong, sometimes we'll just let him take him head on, and we'll clean it up behind him. But then this double team that we got from that tackle and that guard really free up this stacked Sam backer to be able to play the spill without much resistance from the offense. We believe that our stacked backer here ought to be able to beat this wrapping guard to the spot if they're running something like power. Same thing if we're getting it the other way and they want to run counter opposite. This double team on the nose should free up both our Fox, who is stacked, and our Mike to the point of attack. So if we get a kick from that backside guard, we want to spill that thing so that our Fox has a clear fit on the edge. And again, we think that wrapping guys, if it's a guard or in this scenario a tight end, shouldn't be able to get to us if we've spilled the ball correctly. Now, there are some situations where we've faced some really good offensive linemen, really good tight ends that have. But again, we're still widening that attack. We're widening that run play and allowing us to run to it as a defense. So we'll also run down stack. This is primarily against some run-heavy offenses. So whether you're getting like a traditional pro eye, some 21 personnel, potentially wing tee, stuff like that, this allows us to present basically your kind of traditional 5-2 look, again, with our base personnel. So their rules, their reads become the same. The Mike and the Fox are guard readers when they're in the box. Sam really is the only difference here. And again, he'll get some cross training throughout the week, working slants and reads and fighting against offensive linemen. So another one we like, again, this is primarily that we'll see against wing tee. We've got some clips here later. We'll run down bump. So we will bring our Sam down, and then we will bump the front to the strength. So that Sam who was in that 4-eye will bump to a head up 2. The nose will bump from his 0 nose to a 2 to the strong side. And then we'll go a 6 technique, head up to tight end, then a 9 technique by our bull. And again, we can still play our cloud coverage behind it, or we can play other variations of cover 1, cover 0, kind of depending on game plan and situation. All right, the next thing we'll do is we'll talk about some ways that we present pressure. We'll get into some sim pressure looks just by, again, a few tags. So mug means our Mike will walk up to the open gap or the open area. Slug will send the Sam. Bug sends both the Mike and the Sam. So these are things that we can tag again to any of our formations on defense, any of our alignments. Right? So in base, we see here, we're in base with our 0 nose, our 4-eye, and our 9. Mug will walk that Mike up, and then Slug walks the Sam up, we see her here, and then Bug means just both of them walk up. And this, again, is stuff we can pair to any formation we call. So we see it as base, Mug, Slug, and Bug here, but as we go to the next one, we can play it from anything. So we'll see we're in our bump front here, head up 2 for our end and our nose, our bull and our ram, our in-man on the line of scrimmage, 5 techniques in this scenario. The picture remains the same for everybody else. Bug then walks both the Sam and the Mike up. This is a look we like against empty. We like to pressure empty. So whether that's from a 0 blitz or even just walking those guys up and then dropping some, it gives the illusion of pressure even if we're only sending 4. We create some really good one-on-one scenarios by doing this for our pass rushers, but we also sometimes will create an issue up front where they let one of our guys run free. So we'll see it here from Deuce stack as well. Our Deuce front, nose zeroed up, end in a 2, bull in a 5, Slug, we see the tag, walks that sandbacker up into his area. Down mug over here. We're in our down front with the Sam and the 4-eye. Mug just walks that mic up to the strong side A gap. So let's look a little bit at our install philosophy. I truly believe that players are able to learn as much or as little as we're good at teaching them. So for myself as a defensive coordinator with our staff, we spend some time in the offseason to just make sure we're speaking the same language, that we're using the same words throughout our drills. So that time the guy spends with me as an inside linebacker, if he goes and works with the defensive line coach, we're giving him the same verbiage. In Florida, we have spring ball, so we've got about a month in May to help build our toolbox. So we'll spend a lot of spring ball, early parts in fall camp, really building this big toolbox we think we have. We'll front load it. So we put a lot in early so that we can get really, really good at running multiple looks. So let's walk through quickly what this will look like in a given week. So by the end of the first week, we want to have at least talked about or taught all of these fronts that we've talked about. Part of that involves us understanding they're not going to get it right every time, and that's okay. Part of being diverse or versatile as a defense in the early stages is you're going to have some misalignments, and we just correct it on the fly. So day one, we want to start with base, deuce, and bump. Those are primarily the things we'll play. Slants, strong and weak, fan and pinch. That's just stuff we have to have day one. Coverages, we'll start with our 2 read and then our trips variations, our limb and our stub that we've talked about. And then we want to have cover 1 in day one as well. This happens often in meetings outside of the given week. So we have a few meetings leading up to fall camp, things over summer we can at least either show them on the board, show them film, and potentially even run them through some stuff on the field. You know, things like 7-on-7 over the summer. Really good opportunity to work these coverages. So day 2, we'll put on our base linebacker blitzes, our axe, our bat, axle, bottle, stuff like that. We'll also work our undercall that second day as well, so we can get our bull and our ram involved in the slant. Then coverage-wise, we'll work solo, cover 0 there on day 2 as well. Day 3, we'll add the stack and the down fronts. We don't go to these as often, just because where we're at, we don't traditionally see a ton of things like wing tee and pro eye, stuff like that. So we'll add that on the 3rd day of the install. And then 4th day, we'll work combining those fronts together. So down stack, deuce stack, stuff like that. And then we'll add our pressure looks as well. And again, failure is part of the learning process. We know that this can be a lot to learn up front, especially whether it's year 1 in the scheme or you got a kid who's coming out for the first time, stuff like that. And we're okay with some of those mistakes in camp. You know, we're going to miss an alignment. We're going to miss an assignment in camp. But we believe that building this early allows us to get really good at playing all of these looks so that by the end of camp, whether you got a preseason kickoff game, something like that, you're able to get into multiple looks and play really fast. So one thing we believe in as a defense, we believe that being a good defender involves sacrifice. You know, I've got on here, you know, I'm a person of faith. From John 15:13, greater love has no one than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends. Ultimately, what we believe this means, as you can see here, we got a picture of a kid playing casted up, bandaged up, got all kinds of bumps and bruises. It's ultimately about being out there for your teammates. And ultimately, when we go on film, we want to see that our guys are doing things like running to the ball, congratulating their teammates for big moments, stuff like that. We want our guys to be the teammates that they would want to have. So we spend some early emphasis, things like pursuit drill, practicing running to the ball, leverage, all those sorts of things, so that we can be a really fast and aggressive defense that plays for each other. Okay, another thing we do that's for fun, we have a turnover belt, a way to celebrate again. We got to lift these guys up. football can be hard. It can be, monotonous at times through the summer and in camp. We believe in, football should be fun, and we want our kids to have fun while we do it. So this turnover belt we see here is just something we do to kind of incentivize and let them have a good time. So let's look at some film of us in our base front. First thing we'll see, we're on our base front. We've got a 0 nose, 4 eye, 9 away from the back. We're in our limb coverage up here. Our fox, who is this player right here, is man on the third receiver. Okay, we'll be in our limb coverage. We're slanting weak. So if you look here, again, this is one of the reasons why we believe in slanting up front. This nose we've got here, I think, is about 190 pounds at the time. So he's a pretty good sized kid. He's a really good athlete. But if you look across from him, most of these O linemen that he's facing are 250 plus. So we believe to give this guy an advantage and really allow him to succeed, we got to move him. So we'll see a slant up front. He's able to shed a block because he's quick, and we're able to get a sack. Okay, this here we're in double-double. We're in a cover 1 look here. Fox here over number 2. Our safety is on the opposite number 2 here. Again, we're based up front. We're getting an inside zone look. Our bull here is fighting that edge. We've got a weak slant up front. We give up a couple yards, but you can see it really cleans the look up for our inside backers to be able to find this read. Now, this guy doesn't do as great of a job as we want. He starts to work to his hook, even though he's getting a run read from the guard. But you can see how it clears this space for him to where it's a very defined fit. And again, we do a good job running the ball there. So this is actually a preseason game here. We're in our base front. We've got an 11 personnel, pro twins, what we call it, look, tight end here, twins to the field. Okay, we'd like this fox to be a little wider, either in an apex position or, depending on the week, we'll line him immediately up on number 2. But he's a tackle read, and then he's working to the hook. Okay, so we'll see here we get a pass to the flat. Our corner is reading this flat. He's a little late to it, but you can see we're breaking up on it, and it gives us a situation here where we're in position to make a tackle. Now we miss, but again, that pursuit we talk about, we rally to the ball, and he ends up fumbling it, and we've got 10 hats to the ball. Good things happen. This is what we tell our guys all the time. When you run to the ball, good things are going to happen. So sometimes it's this scenario where this ball just kind of pops out and we can hop on it. Again, we're just encouraging them to get to the ball, play for each other. So here we got a tray look. We're in our limb coverage. These guys run a decent amount of flood. So we'll have our fox here, kind of in a wide alignment, but he's still man coverage on that tight end. We'll get flood to the field. Now, I will say, in 2 read, flood can be tough because of the depth of that number 2 receiver. The corner and the safety really have to work this week of read in this, 8 to 10 and out from this number 2 receiver, and then getting over top of that vertical if you're the safety. We would like to be able to exchange this where the corner will take that 10 and out and the safety gets over top of the vertical. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time. So you'll see here we're a little late to this 10 and out. And they get some yards, but you can kind of see the idea of it. We just want a quicker exchange there. And again, we like to read because it helps us exchange these routes, but also it gives us a situation where the corner is able to potentially dislodge that ball. Now, this receiver does a really good job of holding on to it, but we're able to give him a really good shot. And if he does catch it, he's earned it. So we get trips open here. We're in our limb coverage. We've got a little bit of a game on up front. This is our storm blitz. So in our storm blitz, the end will fan to the edge. Our inside backer should be going A gap. We then want to loop our bull into the B. We're a little slow to it here, so we don't quite get there. But again, we're causing some pressure up front. As you can see, this coverage take place here. Our fox is man on this number 3 receiver, and we're playing our 2 read up here from the number 2 to the number 1. Our safety on the backside sees roll, so he works to get over top of here, and we're able to force an incompletion. We believe if we can cause this quarterback to roll this way and throw backwards across his body like this, it's a good play for us. So we get a little bit of a tight bunch here. We're in our base front. Our fox will play the bunch like we play limb. He will man this point receiver, and then we'll play our cloud on the 2 back receivers in this bunch. So the corner and the safety here are reading what really is the number 3 receiver to the number 1 receiver right here. Now they give us a little motion out. Our mic is going to go with him. We're able to get really a short completion on 2nd and long that sets us up for a good 3rd down opportunity. So one of our rules when we have motion is whatever coverage we're in, whether it's zone or man, we're going to keep that. So if we're in our 2 read up here, as we see, because we have these stacked receivers, we're playing our cloud here. If we get motion, we're going to stay in some variation of 2 read. So in this scenario, this guy is motioning here. Our safety will take him in man, and then our opposite safety will roll over the top to play our 2 read. And again, up front, we're moving around a little bit. We're not as big as them, but we're quicker. And again, our nose is able to get some penetration. We're able to clean it up for a sack. Again, you can see how this front presents itself, and we're able to get some one-on-one matchups in the pass rush game. So we're in our base front here. We get a little power read. And we do an okay job up front, but you'll see we have to make sure that our edge player here, our ram, and our linebacker are playing the same technique. Unfortunately, in this situation, we have both guys go to the sweep, but we should be able to clean that up pretty easily, and you'll see a clip where we do it right. But we want, in this scenario, this edge to go to the back and have it so that our backer then can fill in here for the quarterback. They both go to the running back, and we give up some yards. So as we see here, we're down in the red area. We get our base front up top. We have a tray situation with a tight end attached. In the red area, we're going to be in man coverage. So we're in single. We're in our cover 1. And we're going to get an outside zone this way. And we'll see that we can fight this reach. We don't do a perfect job. It still gets outside of us. But we only give up a couple yards here. So this is actually one of our combos here as well. This is base stack. So we can see how this fox is over top of this tight end, and we're in our cover 1. So again, we're in our base stack look to this tight end. And they get us here because we do not do a good job getting our hands on this backside tackle to help free our backer up. So you'll see our ram squeezes, but he doesn't engage with that tackle at all, and it gives that tackle the opportunity to free run to our backer and get him cut off. So one thing that we have to work during the week if we're getting some sort of zone play is to get our hands on that tackle so that he cannot free climb to our backer, because these are the kind of cutbacks we'll give up if it happens. Another clip here, base stack, get that same outside zone look. We're able to get to it. Couple more here, base stack, we're in cover 1. We're able to get an offensive pass interference, we're in good man coverage. We've got the tight end covered up top with our Fox. Able to get a big penalty against the offense. So let's look at our deuce front now. Again, remember this is our nose and a head up 0. Our end has reduced to that 2. So we're in our deuce front this way. Got trips up top, we're playing stub. We're gonna get inside zone and you're gonna see how this cleans up the fits. So we're gonna fan up front, so our nose is gonna go to the left with a nail call. Our end is gonna fan to that B gap, reading that inside hip of the tackle. Our ram and our bull then are edge read players. And you're gonna see how this is able to clean up this fit for our Mike linebacker to really make a good run stop on this inside zone against a really good back. So we'll let it run. You can just see the clear fit that this guy has for that inside backer to get there. So again, we're in our deuce front. We like to pressure out of this, so we'll see some good clips here of some blitzes where we fan up front. And again, you see our limb coverage. We're man on number 3, and then we're playing our 2 read over number 2 and number 1. This is the second game of the year post-COVID, so we lost our spring and really didn't have much of a fall camp. This is a new player for us here at safety. So we see, again, one of those risks potentially of 2 read is if we don't exchange it right, we can turn a guy loose. So while they do throw this out to number 2, as you can see, we turn number 1 loose. So again, it's about reps here out of this 2 read. Trips open here, we're in stub. Reading 3 to 2. We'll send an A-gap blitz from our backer. We get a good redirect there from our inside backer. We force a scramble on 3rd and long. Earlier in this game, this inside backer had actually overran this slant. And as we see, he does a much better job redirecting that guy this time. Forces a no throw. So this is from this past year, down in the red area. We're in our deuce front. We'll see a fan up front, and we'll send our Mike through the A-gap. This is a game that we had to schedule on a Wednesday because another opponent had canceled. So this was a tough game plan for us on about a day's notice. But again, one of these things that this allows us to do is be pretty multiple, so we have some answers. We get single blocks up front, and our nose is able to beat the guard. Inside zone clip. One thing we'd like is for this edge player right here to be a little tighter on this squeeze. That tackle is going to come down and he gets a little too far upfield, so they get a yard or 2, when really if he's tighter down to that guy's hip, it'd have been a better play for us. Here we are in deuce stack. So again, we're in our single, our cover 1 look. And we're going to get a fan up front, and we're going to send our Mike through the A-gap. Again, we get clean hitters, free guys running to the ball. So as I said, if we're in man, we'll stay in man, or vice versa. Okay, so we're in cover one here. We'll see they move us around with some motion. He'll motion this way. We'll rotate the safeties. So that guy who was in man becomes the middle field player, and they're going to motion him back, and we'll just switch our jobs back. Here again, do stack. This time we'll send inside backer through that backside B gap. Okay, he gets a free run. He misses the tackle, but on a 2nd 11, we hold him to about 2 yards here. So here we are again, do stack. We had seen on film that when these guys ran this kind of zone ISO play that we'll get, that tackle didn't step down and seal the B gap. He actually hinged out on our 5 technique. So this is a really good catch by one of our assistant coaches in game planning, and we're able to send this Sam through that backside B gap on a free run. Same idea. We get a little mixed up in our coverage. We give up a couple yards on a 2nd long. So here we are, we're going to do stack again. We're playing cover 1. We get a stretch. See, we're able to force this ball back in with our Fox. On a muddy field, we're able to get our feet, make a tackle again against a really good back for a very short gain on 2nd and 2. So this is down in the red area. Again, we're in our deuce stack, playing cover 1. We'll see we get 2 free runners here. The Mike will end up through this A gap, and we also get a free run on the backside with our Sam through that backside B. So they kind of fumble the handoff a little bit, but you see we're free to it. Even if the ball is handed off, we're right there for it. So one thing we will do as well is we will tag a wide call in certain scenarios to the trips. So we're in our stub coverage, playing 2 read on the number 3 and the number 2 receiver, and you'll see that our Mike is walked out here into an apex almost here, able to kind of hit this hitch window. Now, as I said earlier, he overruns this slant, but he protects it later. And this is one thing, making sure our guys understand the concept of our coverage. This is a really good ball player, but in this scenario, he kind of forgot that this is the guy we're reading, and that when he bubbles, our Fox is going to get him right now. So we would like for him to sit in this kind of hitch window here where they end up throwing that slant. So this is a situation up front as well where we'll tag our under call. So we'll see that our edge player, this bull, is going to go under this tackle so that he gets to that B gap. So this Mike that we've walked out can be an edge C gap player and play this hole. So it really eliminates the conflict he has there from trying to fit inside the A or the B gap. So we'll skip ahead, look at a couple bump looks. So this is week 1. After we had kind of been shut down from COVID from March till August here. So this is a week 1 thing for us in our bump front. We're going to see right here why we like our 2 read. We've got our fox to the field. Our corner is going to be reading the number 2 receiver. We're going to get a bubble. He's going to make some things happen. Really aggressive strike on a short route ends up for a loss. So here we are again. We're in our bump front. We're going to get motion. We're going to get counter back. And you're going to see our fox and our safety are there to protect the spill. That one got a little choppy. I'll show that again. So we're going to see here, we're in our bump front. Fox is to the field up top. We're going to get motion. We're going to see that we're going to stay in our 2 read. And the fox and the safety will be there for the spill of this counter. So we're bump here again. This time we're going to send A-gap pressure, force a quick throw. We drop an INT. Here we are against trips. Playing our limb coverage. Fox is man on number 3. Safety ends up on that 10 and out. We force a roll and a slide by the quarterback. So here's an example of us sorting this power readout properly. Here we are, cover 1. We had a special game plan this week where instead of our deep safety going to the motion man, we're going to switch it. So we're going to see this is our star, or our strong safety. He is actually going to take this motion man. Our guy who was the middle field safety will then roll down to man number 2. Our fox player from back there is going to rotate back to the middle of the field. This is a really good motion and play combo for them. Get motion away, and they're going to run power read back at us coming up top. But again, because of this double team, we're able to force with this head up 2 and our bump technique. Our inside backer is going to be clean scrape to the quarterback. We tackle that play for a loss of 3 against a really good opponent. So here we are in bump. We'll see a trap, and again, just like our edge players want to spill, we want to spill a trap. So if we watch this 2 technique up front, right here, he's going to do his slant. They're going to try and trap him. He's going to get inside of that. We're able to tackle for a loss of 2. So here we are this past season. Bump front. We're going to have a bat call, so our Sam is going to go through that B gap. And this is on a 4th and goal here. We're able to cause a deflection with that free runner. So we get outside zone up top. We get a good edge set by our bull. Our alignment there helps us. We're able to rally to it. We'll get speed option here. Our rule for our edge player here, if we get speed option, is we want to force that ball out of the quarterback's hand right away so that we can go run to it. And he gets a really good shot on this quarterback, and it forces a bad pitch. So here's an example again where we didn't have a lot of reps here and we actually had an injury. This guy who's at safety is normally a corner for us, and both of us jump the flat route on this fade out, and we turn this vertical deep. So a little bit of the good and the bad here, right? And you can see our corner here letting him know, hey, remember, you got to take that guy vertical. So as I said earlier, 2 read is an expensive install. This is week 2, but when we get it right and when we have it down really consistently, we feel like it gives us a lot of answers. So this is again, this past year, we've got our Fox lined up immediately on number 2. He's reading tackle for run pass read. We'll see him here trigger quickly to this kind of toss stretch action. We're able to run it down. So same idea, quick trigger to that outside run. So this is what we want flood to look like. That corner, getting on that 10 and out. We get a reroute. Corner's up there on it on a big 3rd down stop in a close game. So here we're in our bump stack. Jet motion, you see, we call it pull the string. We see how our alignments first play the game, cause some issues, forces them to hold. Here we go again, bump stack. Last couple looks here. Again, we'll see that Mike through the strong side A gap. Again, allowing us to play some different looks in the span of the same game. Some simple blitz stuff to cause some issues. We spill it all the way back. Tackle for a loss on the sideline. We'll go on ahead here. So this is we're in single, we're in cover 1. Our Fox, who's in stacked, is going to travel with this guy coming out of the backfield. He's late to show it. We kind of trick him into this throw. We force an incompletion. So down near their end zone, we actually end up getting a safety here. And in the next play or two, they're going to run power. You're going to see a good hard edge set by our player, or by our bull here. We're able to tackle them for a loss of 1 or so when they're already backed up. So one thing we will run, I'll show you this too, we'll go in that bug look, which again, both backers are walked up. Should have been. Right? We see it. So we'll walk up the mic, we're in mug, we'll get a tunnel screen down here to the bottom, and his peel path takes him right to that screen. We do a really good job of sniffing that one out here. So here's our bug look again. Both guys walked up. You know, sometimes we'll send them from here, sometimes they peel, just to keep the offense honest. We'll skip ahead. We'll get an undercall here. Got everything locked up in our stub. All right, we'll skip ahead. To our down front. Again, this is our 5 down look. We'll walk our Sam down. So here you see our Sam backer walk down, 4-eye technique. He actually gets a sack fumble here. Okay, again, this is one thing we like, because this backer, as a little bit more athletic guy, you can see the size of their offensive line. They've got some really, really big guys. So we're going to put some quick guys in there to kind of counter that. We're able to cause a sack fumble here. So we'll even do this against empty. As you see, we're kind of in our 5-1 look. We've got 5 down here, playing our stub coverage, reading 3-2 up top, 2-1 here on the bottom, still in that cloud look against empty. single up our guys in pass coverage, in pass rush, excuse me, and force a quick throw. That 5-down look up front really puts some pressure on that quarterback to think that he's really going to get pressed right away, so we force a quick throw. Same deal. This is an end of half situation. About 20 seconds slow left on the clock. So we're in our 5-1 look. We've got stub. Our Fox sees that quick trigger from the back out. That guy's an 8th grader, really good ball player for us. Able to quick trigger on this back out, make a really big hit. So we'll see it again here against trips in our limb coverage, 5 down, get a good break up there on a slant route. Okay, this is a 5-1 look again. This time the quarterback pulls. Edge player here sits, plays what we call a surf technique. He's surfing, hand on that guy's hip, washing that tackle down. He's able to stay square, redirect, and play the quarterback. So we'll get a couple wing tee fits here. This is against like a twins open set. These guys really loved running belly. That fullback for them was a really good ball carrier, so we wanted to make belly bounce when we could. So we give them a couple different 5-down looks. So we see here we've got a little bit bigger nose for a couple clips here. He's able to shed some blocks. And then we'll change a pace where we put a little bit quicker of a guy in there that causes some havoc. So here you see we got a quicker nose. We get belly sweep here. These guys hadn't shown belly sweep on film. But as you can see, we get double guard pull. Our safeties reading those edge players, we're able to get involved. And again, we preach running to the ball. As you can see, our 4-eye is able to redirect from his down block. We string it out, and he's able to make a tackle on the numbers. We get a buck sweep look here. Forcing a spill. We had told our corner that when his wing walks down, when his wing blocks down, to treat it almost like a crack. So he replaces. Again, our head up of slanting alignment allows us to get some free runs. This backer's able to get to it as well. Flex bone kind of look, belly at us. And again, notice the change of pace here from our quicker nose. We slant him strong right to where that belly goes. We're able to tackle it for a loss. A couple looks here, we'll get power down this way. Get a really good stuff from our bull. Again, he's kind of undersized. He's probably a $170, $175 in season. But he was really, really strong. So we were able to get a really good fight against that kick out. Able to stop that. Okay, our down front again. Again, we want belly. Preferably to bounce. We cause it to cut back here. But our backside linebacker, good tight scrape angle, is able to get involved. So in our down front, here in the red zone, we've got solo rat. So we're 0 coverage. We've got our mic as like a low hole rat to try and help on some slants, some underneath stuff, anything that leaks through. I don't love our leverage here. We give up way too much space here in the red area for a corner. They throw it incomplete because, again, that 5-down look, we get some quick pressure. We're there pretty quickly, but that's too much space to be given up in the red zone. That guy got coached up on the sidelines after that. So we get belly sweep again here. We string it out. And really, this is the thing I love to see, how we run to the ball. I'll take a stop right here. This corner is the guy who ends up making this play because of his hustle. Now, he's a very, very good ball player, but this is an effort play. This is a sacrifice. You know, we get a sweep away. You don't really count on that corner to make that play very often, but we string it out, and this guy's tremendous effort, he ends up with a big hit on a belly sweep away. Stopping him short on a third down. So we'll take one more look at it. So now we're in down and we're bumped. So we should be head up on the guards, head up on the tight end here in a 9 technique. This time again, we get a really good stuff by our bull. Really doing a good job fighting that kick out from the fullback. Able to force that thing. Ends up with a 2-for-1, tackles the ball carrier with the blocker. So last couple things, we'll look at a couple special alignments we do. These aren't things that we do very often, but we're able to. So in this same game we saw earlier, we actually walk our fox down on the edge. They were really hurting us with like an outside zone stretch here with this fullback leading. And again, a couple really good ball carriers from this team was causing us some trouble. So instead of stack, we just tagged fox down, and that fox just walked down on the edge. We get a really good job forcing this thing back in. After they've motioned to try and create an edge, we're able to force a cut back to our backer. Again, sometimes we didn't carry this into the week. We didn't plan to use it. They hadn't shown this formation. But again, part of the process of building what we say this big toolbox is we have some answers as some change-up things if we are getting hurt with stuff in game. So one thing we'll do, this is off of our Deuce look. We called it Goose just because of its weak side. It's like Deuce, but we're just reducing on one side. So to the front side or the strong side here, you'll see that we're still on our 4-eye and our 9. But on the back side of this down, we'll reduce to a head up 2 and a 5 technique. So with this wing T, we wanted to force the X block. We thought that was the best way. Occupy that backside B gap. Force that belly to hit wider than they really want. Against a good downhill runner, but we felt if we got him going sideways, we could really hurt him. So we're able, again, bounce that belly for a 2-yard gain. Okay, again, same front, down goose. Same idea. This time we'll get it. Running a buck sweep. This one they kind of almost wanted to run similar to like a pin pull, where their tight end is going to reach. Let me reset that. Going back to the beginning of this clip. So again, we'll see our down goose front here. They're going to run this like some spread teams will run. Buck sweep, they'll reach the end and try and get those guards all the way around. Again, we're able to fight the reach, pick off one of those pullers, and make a really, really good play in the backfield. This is one thing we did this week. This is down band. So band is for our money safety. It's like stack, but it's a money stack, so it's a band. So we get into a 5-3 look. Head up alignments. Our safety doesn't really do a good job protecting the middle of the field here, but we're able to get a late breakup by our corner, who's a really good athlete here, to break the ball up. So again, same game, same idea, 5-3 look. So this is our money, and this is our fox in stack. We're playing single cover ones. Again, something simple, day one install for us. Giving us, kind of all the answers to the test here. These guys were hopping back and forth in between this kind of 22 kind of offset pistol look, 22 personnel. Then they would jump into, with the same personnel grouping, they would jump into 10 personnel trips open. So we wanted to be able to have some variety there without having to, mass sub or anything like that. So this is one thing we'll do against empty as well. This is the third down back in the red area. We actually cause a safety here. This is like a tight front for us in empty. So we'll get a 0 nose, 2 4 eyes, and then a couple apex players. These guys ran a lot of jet power read. It was probably their best play, especially from empty. So we'll get motion. We then triggered this apex to go tackle that sweep. And then our 5 in the box, our 0, our 4, and our 0, and then our inside backers are playing for that quarterback on the power. And again, we're still playing our cloud behind it. It becomes limb because we're treating that guy as a number 3 in man. And we're able to cause a safety. In a close game here in the fourth quarter, we actually end up taking the lead after this. So we see the double teams. We get a really, really great block shed by our nose, causing a safety late in the fourth quarter of a big district game for us. Okay, last thing here that we did a little bit this past season, we ran into a team that would run 2 tight end kind of ace formation. They would run some fullback dive and some jet and some tight end around and some really funky stuff that we hadn't really seen very much of. We were able to adapt kind of what we do again. Building that toolbox, we were able to play what we call double down, where down usually brings our Sam. Double down would also bring our Mike to get us into a 6 down front. So first thing you'll see here, they trade. They run a toss sweep. Our edge player is able to make a play. And then the next play following, they run a little bit of a fullback dive at this 6-1 look. And again, this is an 8th grade kid here at our Fox position, our zeroed up backer. And because of our alignments, he's able to clean scrape on a 2nd and long for what is only a 2-yard gain for the offense. One more here, same kind of thing. This time we get a jet sweep, fight the reach, and again, we preach all the time, run into the football. We almost have a cast net around this guy. He's able to get here to the sideline, and this is the pursuit angles we want. Nobody's stepping on each other's toes. We're able to kind of cast that net and get a big tackle for loss here on a jet sweep. So again, Jesse Fox, you can, if you want to reach out to me on Twitter or email, you see it there, at coach_jfox on Twitter. And if you want to email me anything about this, foxajesse@gmail.com. I want to thank Coach Albaugh and Chief Pigskin for putting this on, letting me talk about our defense a little bit. Thanks.